Ugh. When the announced guest was your mother, Meghan, I thought, well, this is going to be insufferable. And it was, but just not for the ways I was expecting. Um, so you start off your segment. Again, we're talking about the impeachment and, we start at politics. Uh, and you're surprised only 10 Republican representatives voted to impeach. You thought it would be more. Um, you're trying to come to terms with your understanding of the Republican Party, and I don't really get it. Like, do you watch any of this? Do you watch their speeches on the floor? You see the shit that they say? Um, like, they're not backing down. Uh, there's there's the bunch that are just Trump sycophants that still seem to think, riding his coattails is going to be some marker of success in the future. I don't know why. I guess they intend to keep the mega crowd as ill-informed and stupid as possible. So yay, America. And then there's the group that's just spineless. And then there's some that have, a moral fiber that are starting to see the light, but have been, co-conspirators through this whole thing, through the whole presidency. So, I don't buy their newfound, um, you know, come to Jesus, or come to just fucking rational thought. Anyway, because Jesus, never mind. Let's not get into religion. So, you love your polls. You quote so many statistics about how the many Republicans in the party revere Trump, blah blah blah. Um, and these polls aren't new. I don't know what makes you think you've always had your finger on the pulse of what's going on when this information has been available, and you can see it happening for the last 4 years. So I don't know why you're so surprised by it. But part of the reason might be the blinders that you have about what the Republican Party is. You launch into a whole soliloquy about the different types of voters that exist within the Republican Party. It isn't all just white supremacists, but there's conservative families that like Trump's policies, which I don't know what those are because they were never published. He didn't have a platform for running for 2020, so I don't know, other than build a wall, lock her up, and love me. I don't know what he stood for. Hating the Democrats. I think that's the policy they like the most. Just anything to own the libs. So your mom comes on, and the way the two of you talk about the Republican Party, she talks about this big tent party that has always had room for everybody, and you talk about this Republican Party that used to be the party of great values and ideals and for everyone and for the sake of the greater good. But I remember Reagan not even saying the word AIDS for a year and a half, while hundreds of thousands of gay men died needlessly. And I don't see this party that you're talking about that's been not very kind to the gays, not very kind to the immigrants. So I don't know what this big tent party is. You and your mom seem to think the Republican Party is, what this ideal you have about the Republican Party, because nothing about the policies that they've put forward, that they've actually enacted, actually represent this thing that you think is there. So I'm at a loss as to what you think the Republican Party is or was, because maybe you're starting to see what it is now. It's a shit show. But you did take your whole first segment to say Sarah's concerned about the coronavirus. I'm concerned about this virus. And you go on to talk about the rift in the Republican Party because that's more important to you. The um, the future and the safety of your party is more important than uh, dealing with a global pandemic that we've been dealing with for a year now almost. Um, well, globally, it has been over a year. Uh, you caveat that at the end. I don't want to say the coronavirus isn't important, but I'm concerned about this virus. Well, again, you you just missed the mark so many times. Um, you don't have to make that caveat. You didn't have to dismiss the coronavirus in any way. You didn't even have to mention it because we weren't talking about that. But all of a sudden, you have to somehow disagree with Sarah. And again, you talk about the uh, terrorist attack on the Capitol as one of the worst events in your lifetime. Just stop putting it all in context of you. And then your question to your mother was again about her and your family being censured by and apparently it's no big deal. Apparently it happens all the time. It happened to your dad. And you admit, oh, I just wanted to say that it was insulting on national TV. You don't have anything better to do with your national platform than say you're insulted by some stupid event, political theater in Arizona. So yeah, kind of infuriating. Insufferable, I think. Not infuriating. Insufferable was the word I used at the outset, and I'm going to stick with that. I had to suffer. I suffered through the hour. Anyway, Rob Lowe is a delight, isn't he? And I didn't know that he has been in a series on television every year since 1999. That was a nice statistic that you threw out that apparently, I'm sure, someone on your staff gave you to say. Anyway, I didn't do any Golden Girls research, so maybe that'll come over the weekend. Don't wear glittery eye makeup. It's very distracting.